Here is something nobody tells you about being smart. The smarter you are, the easier it is to talk yourself out of everything, not because you are weak, not because you do not care, but because your brain is good at its job. It generates 17 reasons something could go wrong before you even pick up the pen. It runs the worst-case simulation before you have even decided if you want to try. It is fast, it is thorough, and it is absolutely not destroying your life. I know this because I lived inside that loop for years, and I kept thinking, if I could just understand it better, I could get out of it. So I read, I researched, I analyzed, I understood it perfectly, and I still could not move. What I am about to show you is not another explanation of why you overthink. You already have 12 of those saved in your notes app. This is something different. This is the thing I wish someone had shown me before. I wasted 2 more years being the most self-aware, stuck person in the room. The intelligence paradox. There is a concept in psychology called metacognition. It means thinking about your thinking. And high-achieving people, students, creators, ambitious professionals, tend to have unusually strong metacognitive ability, which sounds like a superpower. It is not. Here's what it actually means in practice. When a regular person has a thought like, I should start that project, they either start it or they do not. When an overthinker has that same thought, they immediately generate a second thought about the first thought. Is this the right time? Is this the right approach? Am I even the right person for this? And then a third thought evaluating the second, and a fourth. And within 60 seconds you have constructed an entire architecture of doubt out of something that started as a simple impulse. Your brain did not malfunction. It performed exactly as designed. It just applied its full horsepower to the wrong problem. I used to believe, genuinely believed, that if I thought hard enough, long enough, carefully enough, I would eventually arrive at a decision so perfectly reasoned that it could not fail. That certainty was the destination, and I was going to think my way there. You cannot think your way to certainty. Certainty does not exist before action. It only exists after. Every person you admire who seems decisive, they did not feel certain first. They acted uncertain. The feeling came later, as a byproduct of moving. But here is where the paradox deepens. Because once you are smart enough to understand that, once you logically accept that you just need to act, your brain has a response ready for that too. It says, okay, but what if this specific situation is different? What if this is the one time that waiting actually was the right call? This is the trap. This is what I call the intelligence paradox. The same cognitive ability that makes you good at learning, planning, and problem solving is the exact mechanism your overthinking uses to survive every attempt you make to defeat it. You cannot outthink overthinking, and that is the thing that changes everything. Once you actually believe it, why overthinking gets smarter over time. Here's what makes this worse. Most people treat overthinking like a bad habit, like biting your nails or scrolling before bed, something you can just decide to stop. So they try affirmations, they try discipline, they try just do it. And it works. For a day, maybe 3 days, and then the loop comes back. Except now it is a little bit stronger, because it has absorbed your failed attempts and added them to its evidence base. You tried to stop before. You could not. What makes you think this time is different? This is not a metaphor. This is neurologically what happens every time you engage with an anxious thought, even to argue against it, even to try to reason your way out of it. You strengthen the neural pathway that generates it. You are not fighting the loop. You are feeding it. There is a term for this in behavioral psychology, rumination, and research consistently shows that rumination does not solve problems. It creates a felt sense of productive thinking. While actually deepening the anxiety response, you feel like you are working on it. You are not. You are rehearsing it. I used to have a specific ritual. Every time I was about to do something, post something, send something, start something, I would sit down and think it through. One more time, just to make sure, and I told myself this was responsible. This was thorough. This was what careful people do. What it actually was a way to feel the sensation of working without taking on the risk of acting. My brain had learned that thinking felt like progress, so it gave me more thinking instead of movement. And the longer that pattern runs, the more evidence it collects. Every project you did not start becomes proof that starting is dangerous. Every time you hesitated becomes proof that hesitation is wisdom. Your overthinking does not stay the same size. It grows. It learns your arguments. It upgrades, which is why, and I need you to actually hear this, trying to motivate yourself out of overthinking does not work. Trying to logic yourself out of it does not work. Reading another article about it, I say this with full awareness of what I am doing right now, does not work either. Not unless you understand what actually interrupts the cycle, which is what comes next. The 3-step pattern break. I want to tell you about a specific afternoon about 2 years ago. I had been planning to launch something for 4 months. I had the idea. I had the research. I had a notes document that was 43 pages long, and I was sitting at my desk, once again, reviewing the plan, looking for the thing that was not quite right yet. And I realized I was not looking for what was wrong. I was looking for permission. I was looking for a version of the plan so complete, so bulletproof, that it would give me permission to start. That permission was never going to come, because I was the only one who could give it. So I did something that felt absurd at the time. I closed the document. I did not improve it. I did not finalize it. I just closed it, and I did the smallest possible version of the next step. Not the whole thing. Not even a good version of the thing. Just a motion in the direction of it. And something shifted. Not dramatically. Not like a movie. But something in the loop broke. What I did not know then, and understand now, is that I had accidentally executed a 3-part sequence that behavioral researchers describe as the core mechanism for interrupting compulsive thought patterns. Here is what those 3 parts are. The first is what I call shrinking the threat. Overthinking is largely a threat response. Your brain scans for danger and generates analysis to neutralize it. The way to interrupt that is not to confront the threat. It is to make the action so small that it registers below the threat threshold. Not launch the thing. Not write the chapter. Open the document. Type 1 sentence. Close it. The brain does not panic over something that small. And once you have moved even 1 centimeter, the psychological state shifts from planning to doing. That shift is everything. The second is breaking the association between thinking and safety. Your brain has been trained by years of successful avoidance to treat thinking as the safe zone and action as the dangerous zone. The only way to retrain that association is to accumulate small experiences of acting and surviving, not thriving, not succeeding, just surviving. The thing you did not destroy you. You made a small move, and the world did not end. Do that enough times, and the safety signal slowly migrates from thinking to moving. The third, and this is the one most people skip, is external anchoring. Overthinking is an internal process. It lives entirely inside your head. The most reliable way to interrupt an internal loop is to move something external. Say it out loud. Write it on paper, where you can see it. Tell one person. Make the thought physical. The moment something moves from inside your head to outside it, you have broken the loop's primary habitat. It cannot sustain itself in external reality. The same way, it sustains itself in internal silence. These 3 things, shrink the threat, break the association, anchor it externally, are not a cure. I will not tell you they are, but they are the mechanism. They are how the loop actually breaks, as opposed to how we wish it would break. What to do today? So here is where most videos end. With the framework, with the insight, with you feeling like you understand something, now that you did not understand before, and then you close the tab, and you go back to whatever you were avoiding. I am not going to let you do that, at least not without making it harder, because here's what I know about you, based on the fact that you are still watching this. You are not lazy, you are not unmotivated, you are not broken. You are someone whose brain is very good at generating reasons to wait, and you have not yet accumulated enough evidence that moving is survivable. So the thing to do today is not to overhaul your system. It is not to plan a new approach. It is to create one piece of evidence. One thing, smaller than you think. It should be. So small it feels almost embarrassing. A message you send, a page you start, a thing you say out loud to someone, one external motion that your brain has to register as real. That is the first crack in the loop, and cracks spread. If this video gave you something, even one sentence, that finally named the thing you have been living in, tell me what it was in the comments. I read every single one in the first 24 hours, not for the algorithm, because I genuinely need to know what is landing, what is missing, and what you are still stuck on. Your answers shape everything I make next. Subscribe if you want more of this. I am not here to post inspirational quotes. I am here to actually work through this with you. The mechanics, the patterns, the specific moments where the loop breaks one move at a time. Go make yours.